So let's install Python in our system. Python installation. Let's install the Python inside of a machine, and after doing the installation process, we will be writing our first Python script. Okay? So for installing the Python inside your machine, first you need to visit the python.org website. Let's execute this. First you need to open the browser. Simply type Python, go to the python.org website, then click on downloads. After clicking on download, based on your system, if you are using the Windows, you will be clicking on the Windows. Then if you are using the Mac OS, you are going to click on Mac OS. I am using Windows, so I will click on Windows. From here you can download any installer. Any installer means based on your machine. If you are using a 32-bit machine, you are going to use the 32-bit installer. If you are using the 64-bit machine, you are going to click on the 64-bit installer. Once you click on the installer, the download process will automatically start, and once the download process is finished, and after that you can simply click on the installer and simply click on the next button, and the Python will be installed on your machine. The process is very simple. I already have installed, so I am not doing the installation process with this video, but you can simply click on the installer like the Windows installer. I'm using 64-bit. I will click on the 64-bit. And this basically I have blocked the download process. So but if you will click on this particular web link, the download process will be started and the installer will be installed inside your machine. Once it is installed, simply double click on that installer, click on next, and the installation process will be done. This is very simple. Then we are going to use IDE for this particular code, that is VS Code. So let's install that VS Code also. I already have installed the VS Code on my machine. So first you need to click, you simply need to type VS Code on the browser, then click on the first link. Then you will be getting this particular link, that is download for Windows. If you are using Windows, simply click on download for Windows, or if you are using Mac OS, click on this button. Once you will click on the download for Windows, the installation process will be started. It is going to automatically start it, and once it is basically downloaded inside your system, simply click on that installer. Simply click on next, and Windows, like this particular VS Code, will be installed on your machine. Now you can open your VS Code. Once you will start your VS Code, the VS Code interface will look like this. Now you will need to click on this part, that is the extensions. By clicking on extensions, first you need to install the Python. You need to install some extensions over here, that is Python. Simply click, I already have installed, so you will be getting the install button over here, but I am getting an uninstall button. Simply click on the install button, and this Python extension will be installed on your machine. Then another extension is Code Runner. You also need to install this particular extension. You simply need to click on install button. I am getting the uninstall button because I already have installed this. You will be getting the install button, and once you are installed, you have installed this, you are good to go. Basically, after installing all these extensions, you need to basically restart your system. You need to restart your system, or you can simply restart your VS Code, and after that your extension will be started. Your extension will start working. You simply need to restart the VS Code, and then you are good to go. Then you can simply create any folder on your desktop. You can create any folder over here, and then after creating that folder, simply open that folder inside the VS Code. Click on the file menu, click on open folder, and then you can open that folder inside the VS Code. I already have opened like the Python codes, that is an empty folder. Now we are having the 2-3 icons over here. So the first one is for creating the file. If I want to create any new file inside this folder, let's consider I want to create hello.py. Every Python file always ends with .py extension. If I'm creating a Python file, then it must be using the .py extension. Now I will click on enter. The Python file will be created. So first icon is to create the file. First icon is to create the new file. The another icon is to create the new folder. If I want to create any new folder, inside this folder I can simply click on this button and new folder will be created, like the Python. So the Python folder is created. Now I am simply deleting this for now because I don't need it. Now after doing the installation process, if you want to check whether the Python is installed on your machine or not, simply open the command prompt. Simply open the command prompt, and here you need to type Python --version. So if the Python is installed inside your machine, you will be getting the version of the Python installed or inside your machine. So basically, once the Python is installed, I already told you the installation process. You need to execute this particular command, that is Python --version. After that, you will be getting the Python version which you have installed. Now if I want to execute the code, if I want to write a Python script, if I want to execute the code, then we are having the three different ways to execute the code. Three different ways means, first I can use the command prompt. I can write my Python code on the command prompt. Execution of Python code. So if I want to execute the Python code, first is command prompt, that is the CMD. Another one is the Python IDLE. And then third one is the any IDE. IDE can be of multiple type. We write IDE over here. IEE. We are using the VS Code for this particular course. You can use the PyCharm. PyCharm is also the IDE for writing the Python code. And for this course, we are using the VS Code. So let's first execute our Python program on the Python IDLE. What's Python IDLE? Basically, once you install the Python inside your program, once you have installed the Python on your machine, the installation process comes with the Python IDLE. You simply need to search for Python IDLE. And once you click on the Python IDLE, you will get this interface. This is not a command prompt, this is a Python IDLE. Here you can write the any command, like the print hello world. Hello world. This is a print statement which we are using. Now if you will click enter, you are going to basically get the output. I can simply type 6 plus 6. If I will click enter, I will get the 12. So you can write your Python code on the Python IDLE. So this is the first way. This we have discussed, right? This is Python IDLE. Now the next way is the command prompt. So let's use the command prompt. So if I want to execute, let me first close the IDLE. Now command prompt, this is a command prompt. You can see we are having the command prompt over here. If I want to execute the Python on my command prompt, I first need to type this command, that is Python. I will click enter. You can see the Python, once I have typed the command Python, we are getting a similar interface similar to the Python IDLE. So the command prompt is directly opening the IDLE on the command prompt after executing the Python command. So we are getting the same interface. We can simply type 6 plus 6, 6 plus 1 plus 1. So if I will click enter, I will get the output as 8. Now I can also type the print statement. Whenever you want to print something on the output screen, there is a default function that is called as a print function. Inside this, you can simply pass whatever you want to print. I want to print hello world. Hello world. I will click enter. Then hello world is going to be printed. But working with the Python VS Code, like Python IDLE, or writing the command on the command prompt is little bit complex, and you will not be able to write the complex program on the IDLE or the command prompt. That's the reason we are using the IDE. That is the third way. So IDE always provide the simpler code execution. You can simply write the code. It is going to provide you the multiple extensions which we have installed. Using those extensions, the writing of the code or the process of writing of the code become like very much easier as compared to the IDLE or the command prompt. That's the reason we are using the IDE. Let's create the program on the IDE as well. So we are using the VS Code. First, I already have created a file over here. That is a hello.py. First, you need to create the file. Simply click on this button that is creating a new file. Type hello1.py. I have created a file over here. Now, if I want to print like this one, like similar to this statement, I want to print something on my output screen. So first, I will type the print. This is the so basically when we have installed the Python over here, the purpose of installing the Python extension was to get the auto suggestion. Auto suggestion means, let's consider I am typing the print. So I am typing p. So as you can see, I am getting the auto suggestion that there is a print statement. I can directly click on that and it will be auto completed. So the next benefit of using the IDE is that it is providing you the auto completion of the code. So when I'm typing p, it is auto suggesting me that there is a print function. You can use this function. I simply need to click on enter button and it is doing the auto completion process for me. Inside this, I will write hello world. I need to save this because I am getting a circle sign over here. But when I will save this file, that is Control S, the file will be saved. And after saving this file, I can simply click on this button and our file will start executing. And we are getting the output as hello world. As you can see, we are getting the output as hello world. Okay, so this is the terminal. When we are executing our file, we are getting the output on the terminal, that is hello world. If I will change this hello world, we are learning the Python programming language. And if I will save this file, if I will execute this, I will get the output that hello world, we are learning the Python programming language. In this way, we can simply use the Python IDLE. Then we have discussed how we can use the command prompt. Then we have discussed how we can write the code on the VS Code. So we will be dealing with the VS Code in the other modules. But for now, let's understand how we can write the code on the command prompt or the IDLE. First, what I'm doing, I'm creating a variable, that is a variable which is storing the 5 value. Now, if I will click on enter, as you can see, we are getting the error. Okay. So now let's create another variable a equal to 20. We was getting the indentation error because we have not provided the proper space. We will discuss about the indentation in the further part. But for now, you can simply understand I have created a variable that is storing a value 20. Now I want to check what value a variable is storing. So I will use the print statement. Inside the print statement, I will type a and then I will close the bracket. Now if I will click on enter, I will get the value whatever the a variable is storing. So a variable is storing the 20. Now if I will click on enter, I am getting the 20 as the output. Now let's consider I am having another variable, that is b. B is storing 2. Now I want to print the output of, basically I want to print the summation of a and b, a plus b. I will click on enter. I am getting 22 because a variable is storing 20, b variable is storing 2. When I am adding a plus b, that is 20 plus 2, we are getting the output as 22. In this way, you can execute your code on the command prompt or the IDLE. But writing the code on the command prompt and the IDLE is little bit complex as compared to the IDE. Because IDE is providing us the concept of the auto completion, auto suggestion. It is helping us to write the code in more efficient way as compared to the IDE or IDLE or the command prompt. Now let's create the another variable, that is the addition. But this is a little complex things, or you can say this is let's understand this first. So here I want to execute the multiple things, like I want to add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, but my requirement is that I want to provide the next output in the next line. I want to provide the next input in the next line, like this one. I want to write in this way. That is 1 addition equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus. Now I want to move to the new line, and from the new line I want to provide 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus, and then move to the new line 7 plus 8. But if I will try to execute the same thing, let's consider this is the addition variable. This is the addition variable, and inside the addition variable we have done 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus. Now to move to the new line I have to click on enter, but we will be getting the error. So I have, it is not, just a minute, yeah, it is no, okay, plus 4. Basically when I have, basically it was not getting to the new line. When I have added the 4, we are getting to the new line. Okay, so but if I will do the another thing like the subtraction, and subtraction for like do the add, I'm creating the another variable, that is add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus. Now when I'm clicking on enter, we are getting the error. It is saying invalid syntax, but I want to provide the output to the new line like this way. So how we can do? We need to use a new line character. We cannot directly move to the new line by clicking the enter button. We need to use a new line character that is called as a this one, this sign, backslash. Using the backslash you can move to the new line. Without using the backslash you will not be able to move to the new line. Let's execute this task again. Like I have I'm using the add variable, that is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus. Now if I will directly click on the enter button, I will be getting the error. So I need to use the backslash. Just a minute, I need to use the backslash, but my backslash is not working. So you can simply understand like this. If you will simply type the backslash over here, you will directly move to the next line. But if you will directly want to enter, basically after clicking the enter button, you will not be able to move to the new line. But you, for moving to the new line, you need to use the backslash button over here. It is a backslash sign. The another way you can do in this way. The another way is like using the brackets. I have opened the bracket. Inside this I am typing 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. Now if I will click on the enter button, I will not be getting the error. I will be moving to the new line. I have clicked on enter. I am getting to the new line. Now 2 plus 3 plus 4. Still I have not closed the bracket. So if I will click on the enter button, I will be moving to the next line. I will not be getting the error. I am getting the error because I have not provided the plus sign over here. For after 4 I need to provide the plus sign. Let's do this again, like 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4. Now if I will directly click on enter, I will be getting the error. For that I need to provide the plus sign over here. Yeah, this one, plus 4, and if I will I need to provide plus, then moving to the next line, then 1 plus 2 plus 3, then plus, then if I will click on enter, I will move to the next line, 1 plus 2 plus 3, then plus, then click on enter, moving to the next line, then 1 plus 2. Now I am going to close the bracket. If I will click on enter, I will get basically all these addition is done. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 2. Now if I will print the add variable, I will get the summation of all those values, like the 25. If you will add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 2, you will get the 25 as the output. So you can work on the ideally, basically ideally or the command prompt in this particular way. So basically if you want to move to the new line, you simply need either you need to use the backslash, or you can simply use the curly like the curly braces, opening curly braces, and when you want to close, you can close that curly braces in by using the multiple lines. So this is the concept. So that's the reason we are using the IDE, because IDE is doing all these tasks in a very simple way as compared to the IDLE or the command prompt. Let's create a program over here for basically getting the area of the rectangle. So here I am defining a variable that is length. Length is taking the output, length is taking a 4 value. Then I am defining a variable that is breadth, that is taking a 2 value. Then I am using a print statement to print the output. Inside this I am typing area of rectangle is, then this sign, and after that I am doing the length into breadth, length into breadth, and I'm closing the bracket. So length variable is storing the 4 value, and the breadth variable is storing the 2 value. So it is going to do the multiplication. So it is let me first, so length is storing the 4 value, so it is going to use the 4 value over here. It is going to do the multiplication with the 2, and we will be getting the output as area of rectangle is 4 into 2, that is 8. So we'll be getting the output as 8. Let me click on the enter button. So we are getting the error, that is area of rectangle is okay, detected at line number 1. This error, we must not get this error. Let me write the print statement again. Print, it's print area of rectangle. I need to first close the double quotes over here. I have not closed the double quotes, that's the reason I was getting the error. First I need to close the double quotes as well, that's the reason I was getting the error. Let me click on enter. So this error, okay, I have closed the double quotes at the wrong place. I need to close the double quotes over here after this sign. So I have closed the double quotes. Now we will not be getting the error. So we are getting the output as area of rectangle is 8. So as you can see, I am also getting the error on while writing the code on the command prompt, because command prompt is making the things very much complex for you. You are not getting any kind of auto suggestion, you are not getting the auto completion of the codes. But if you will be writing the same code in the VS code over here, so the process will become much easier as compared to the IDLE or the command prompt. Let's consider I want to execute the same program. So I will write length equal to 9, breadth equal to 10, print. As you can see, I am getting the auto suggestion over here. Now if I will click enter, it is automatically going to write the whole print statement, that is a auto completion. Now I am simply opening the bracket, it is automatically closing the bracket for me. That is also a positive point. But when I was writing the code in IDLE, I need to simply open the bracket, then I need to manually close that bracket. If I forget to close that bracket, I will get the error. Now inside this, I am getting the auto suggestion. Basically, I will be opening the double quotes, and it is simply closing the double quotes for me. Okay, then inside this I am writing area of the rectangle is, and then after the double quotes I am writing length into breadth, length into breadth. Okay, I need to save this file because I am getting a round circle over here. Once I will save this, I will get the cross button over here. I am doing the Control S. I'm getting the cross button, that means file is saved. Now if I will click on the execute button, I will get the output as area of rectangle is 90, because 10 into 9 is 90. In this way, you can basically write your program either on the command prompt, IDLE, or the command prompt IDLE or the IDE. So there are 3 different ways of writing the code. First one was the command prompt, then another one was the IDLE, and the another one was the IDE. So we have implemented the code on all the 3 platforms: command prompt, IDLE, and the IDE. Now let's understand the concept of a indentation. That is also a very important thing, because Python always work on the indentation part, because without indentation we will always get the error. So when I was writing the code over here, as you can see on this line, somewhere I was getting the indentation error. I think I was getting the error. Yeah, this one, unexpected indent. I was getting the indentation error. Indentation error. So let's understand about the indentation. Indentation means, so basically, let's consider I'm having a if statement. I want to basically in C++, let's basically compare these things. So I'm having the two programming language. First one is the C++. Another one is the Python programming language. If I will use the if statement in C++, we are having a curly braces. I will be writing the condition over here, and then I will be using the curly braces to define that some statements are inside the body of the if statement. Some other statements are inside the body of the if statement, and based on this condition, we are going to execute. But in case of Python programming language, these brackets are not defined. If I want to use the if condition in Python programming language, this we will be discussing about the if statement in the control flow part. But for now, you can simply understand that there is a if statement which is taking some condition. We will be writing the condition over here, and based on that condition, some particular task will be executed. So in Python, instead of this curly braces, we are using this particular sign. If I want to show that some other statements, I want to write some other statement inside the body of the if statement. So I will be using the concept of indentation. Indentation means I will be providing some space from this side. I will not be writing these lines from the starting. I will be providing some space from this particular line, and this particular this space will automatically detect that these four lines are inside the body of the if statement. Let's understand this on the VS Code so that you can get the better understanding. So here what I'm doing, I'm creating a new file, that is indent.py. First I'm creating a first variable, that is num1, which is storing a 10 value. Another is the num2, which is storing a 100 value. Now I am using a if statement, and inside this I told you that I will be writing a condition. I will be writing a condition, and based on this condition, the body of the if statement will be executed. So here I am writing one condition, that is num1 is greater than num2, and then I am writing this particular sign. Now if I will click enter, you will notice that it is going to take some space from this particular side. I have clicked enter. As you can see, it is taking some space from this particular side. That is called as an indentation. I want to print, I'm using a print statement, and I'm saying num1 is greater than num2. Okay. So and after that, now I want to move outside the body of the if statement, so I will remove this indentation. I am outside the body of the if statement, and then I'm writing one step, that is program is finished. Program is done. So basically this thing is called as an indentation. This particular space is called as an indentation, which is denoting that this print statement is inside the body of the if statement, and it is based on this condition. If this condition is true, only in that case this particular statement is going to be printed. If this condition is not true, in that particular case this statement is not going to be printed. Okay, let's execute this so that you can get the understanding. If I will execute this code, I'm executing this code. As you can see, I am getting on my output screen, I am getting program is done. I am not getting this statement because this condition is false. Why this condition is false? This condition is false because it is checking condition, this one, like 10 is greater than 100, which is not a true value, which is a false value. So I was saying that if this condition is true, only in that case I want to execute this particular line. But this condition is not true, this condition is false. That's the reason this particular line is not getting executed. but this line is outside the body of the if statement. That's the reason it is getting executed. Okay, so I am not getting this particular line, but I am getting this particular line. Let's change the condition over here. Let's change the condition over here. So this time I am checking num2 is greater than num1. Num2 is greater than num1, which is a true condition because num2 is storing the 100 value and num1 is storing the 10 value. So 100 is obviously greater than 10. So this time this condition will be true. This condition will be true and we will be getting both the statement on the output screen because this condition is true. So I will also be moving to the body of the if statement. First this line will be printed and then this line will be printed. Let's execute this. So when I'm executing this, as you can see, first the line number 4 is getting printed because this condition is true, and then the line number 6 is getting printed because that is outside the if statement. So basically indentation shows that this particular line is inside the body of the if statement. That is the purpose of using the indentation. We can write the multiple lines inside the if statement by using the indentation. I can write the multiple lines over here like this one, like this way. This was our first line. Then I can also print I am still inside the if body. If I will execute, first this condition is true, so line number 4, line number 5 will be printed and then line number 7 will be printed. Num1 is greater than num2. I am still inside the body of if statement. Then program is done. Program is done. Okay. This was the concept of the indentation. Indentation is basically used to show that some statements are inside the body of particular block. So this is not limited to the if statement. It can be used to the any other blocks as well. We can have the multiple blocks like the if statement, else statement, functions, object oriented programming